one of those things, right? In the regular season, they are regularly started. It's kind of hard to figure it out. A 1 pitch, a little bit outside from Waldron. That was runner on second, nobody out, just underway. And the 1-1 grounded to the right side slowly. Cronenworth way towards first has got it. Slings it to Arise, a productive first out by Jacob Wilson. And the A's have a man on third base with one away here in the top of the first inning.
That speaks to the confidence thing. We started to see the knuckleball. If you look at the year before compared to what we saw from Waldron, certainly higher. But there were times where it seemed like it was trending in that direction, but that confidence issue that I think sometimes affected Matt really seemed to slow him down, especially in that second half of the season.
Padres will bring the infield in here, and Waldron out of the windup deals to the left-hand hitting Tyler Soderstrom. He goes after the first pitch and bounces it toward the Padre dugout on the right side. Pods as they were yesterday against the Mariners in the brown tops with the white pants and the gold spring training hats. The A's in their Kelly green tops with the gray pants. You've heard both Tony and I refer to them as the not Sacramento A's. A little bit of a story there, of course. 0-1 the pitch, and Soderstrom fouls it away to the left side. They are, of course, playing in Sacramento for, at minimum, the next 2 or 3 years. They are done with Oakland. They are theoretically at least on their way eventually to Vegas. And they have said that they are not going to refer to themselves as the Sacramento A's while they are playing in Sacramento. They want to be just the A's. 0-2 grounded up the middle into center field, and an RBI single for Soderstrom to give the Athletics a 1-0 lead here in the first.
I don't know if I should comment on the single or the fact that the A's don't want to be in the city, but certainly don't want to use their name.
It feels weirdly disrespectful to me.
It feels extremely disrespectful.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I think it's odd to not associate a team with their geographic home.
You're using the city.
Here's former Padre Luis Urias. Signed with them on Monday, and he takes low ball one. Urias starting at third base today for the Athletics. As long as I don't say Oakland more than a dozen times today, I'll be all right. Padres will go to Sacramento, I think, second week of the season in April to check them out at the home of the AAA River Cats. Quick pickoff at first, and is just ahead of the tag from Arise.
Had Luis hung on to that baseball, I think he might have had a runner picked off there.
Soderstrom leading at first, one down, 1-0 A's here in the first. Long pause from Waldron, and now a knuckleball strike that bounces in and out of the glove of the catcher Martin Maldonado. 1-1 the count, and they want Waldron to throw more knuckleballs, not only in games, by the way, but even when he's playing catch. And Mike Schultz said the other day, and I don't think he was really kidding, it's becoming harder and harder to find people to catch Matt Waldron, and he didn't mean in the games. 1-1 is fouled off. Even playing catch, nobody wants any part of it.
And that's not a joke, right? I mean, everybody who typically is playing catch, with Matt, would be other pitchers. Do they really want to have to deal with catching it? They're worried about what their flat ground looks like.
You know, at home, like when the Friar catches the ceremonial first pitch and he has that giant glove,
Right.
That's what I would use if I were somebody playing catch with Matt Waldron. Ball and 2 strikes to Urias. Checks his swing on a pitch that was up. The appeal, he didn't go. And now 2-2. ABS is in action for this game. We saw a couple of ball strike challenges yesterday against Seattle. It did not move me dramatically one way or the other. Kind of neat to see it in action. 2-2 now to Urias. And he swings, tips it into Maldonado's mitt. That is strike 3. And the second out here in the top of the first inning for Waldron. Soderstrom at first. And the Athletics DH today, Zach Geloff. A second-round pick out of the University of Virginia just 4 years ago. Going to get into the right-handed batter's box.
Knuckler kind of cut away there from Urias and goes down swinging.
1-0 A's in the top of the first inning. Soderstrom at first with 2 down. Geloff looks, and a fastball strike. So, of course, all the discourse in the last week or two about Matt Waldron is he throw a lot more knuckleballs. I don't think he's thrown a lot more knuckleballs.
Not today.
Here this afternoon. Matt, 28 years old, 26 starts at the big league level a season ago. That was a career high. A 1 pitch is a knuckleball grounded to the left side, and Eggy Rosario way to his left, cuts in front of Bogarts. He's got it, and the throw to first in time to end the inning. A's get a run on 2 hits. They leave a man, and the Padres are coming up. A's as Luis gets into the left-handed batter's box for the first time this year. Takes low from right-hander J.T. Ginn, and that is ball 1. Luis starting his first full season as a Padre, and of course, .314 average last year to win the Tony Gwynn Award as the top hitter in the National League, his 3rd consecutive batting title. Pitch is fouled at the plate, and there may have been an automatic ball assessed before the at-bat began. So the count is either 1-1 or 2-1. Home plate umpire Austin Jones, a minor league call-up, has not indicated any of that. So we'll wait and see. Pitch on the way. And Arraez hits it hard the other way. And fair up the third baseline into left field. Jose Ruiz gets to it quickly, sends it in. That'll hold Luis to a single, but Arraez with 2 good thumbs. No surprise. Base hit the other way to begin his spring.
So excited to watch a healthy Luis Arraez. We got about a month of that before the thumb injury happened in Texas. But this guy is one of the best pure hitters in all of baseball. With 2 thumbs, I'm very anxious to see what that's going to look like.
.314 last year, playing almost one-handed, as you said, for a chunk of the season. And sky's the limit. Bogaerts gets in, swings at the first pitch, fouls it right at the dish. And like Arraez, Bogaerts making his 2025 debut here this afternoon. And I think that foul ball came up and caught him. Taking a moment for himself in the other batter's box, adjusts the belt buckle. First swing of the year.
It's really all you can do is adjust the belt buckle at this point.
Xander taking a moment. Bogaerts, of course, at the start of spring last year was contending with a position change over to second base. And this year he comes in knowing he'll be the shortstop. I know he's very happy about that. And just kind of a different mindset than he had at this point a season ago. He has recovered enough to continue the at-bat. And in there to face J.T. Ginn, a 25-year-old from Mississippi. Sinker baller, gets a lot of grounders. Pitch is downstairs to Bogaerts. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Xander. Ginn, the pitcher for the A's, a second-round pick by the Mets out of Mississippi State in 2020. And he was traded to Oakland at the time, spring training 2022, in the deal that sent Chris Bassett to the Mets. 1-2 out in front, or 1-1 out in front. He swings and misses, strike 2. Bassett had a fun day today. He's now a Blue Jay, and has just kind of become a great tradition around baseball. Here's the pitch, and Xander takes on the outside corner, strike 3 call. So goes down looking against Ginn as Jackson Merrill gets ready to hit for the first time. Yeah, Chris Bassett finished last in the Blue Jays Fantasy Football League last year. So today he was a bat boy, and he had to wear his record as his uniform number, 4-10.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we are being privy to a lot of the last place finishing content that comes out in front of our eyes.
The first gets away from Soderstrom, and Arraez on his way to second base. It took a crazy bounce right to the second baseman, Muncy, but all he's able to do, put it in his pocket. And on an error by the pitcher, Ginn, Arraez now standing at second base. That is, yes, Max Muncy, by the way, playing second base for the Athletics, but not that Max Muncy. It's the other Max Muncy, just to avoid any confusion.
Yeah, because, it seems to be a very popular name. At least in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, among infielders. Arraez at second, 1 down. 1-0 A's in the bottom of the first inning. And Merrill takes down and in, ball 1. Jackson hitting 3rd today. Last season in the regular year, he hit higher than 5th only twice the entire season. Now, no Machado, who played yesterday today. No Tatis, who's under the weather. But you certainly expect Jackson Merrill to hit higher at the start this year after what he was able to accomplish as a rookie. Takes a little bit inside, ball 2.
That's the tough part is I don't know. It really depends on where Mike sees Toddy in the lineup. Because I think Arraez is going to be your leadoff guy. Where do you see Toddy? In that 2-hole, or do you see him in the 4-hole?
Swing and a miss, 2-1. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt, right? You got Arraez first.
Manny third. And so there becomes a question. Do you see Xander in that 4 spot? Or perhaps Jackson in a 4 spot. Or perhaps Toddy.
2-1 pitch floats in on the hands. And now 3 balls and a strike to Merrill with Cronenworth waiting on deck.
I think obviously you could see Jackson perhaps hitting 2 in a lineup like this. But again, if Toddy hits second, then I think that kind of limits where Jackson can be in those top 4.
3-1, grounded on the right side, charged by Soderstrom near the bag at first base, and he hits it for the second out. Arise advancing to third with Cronenworth coming up.
In other words, he could be back into that 5 spot, again, depending on where Toddy falls in that lineup.
All I know is if I would have told you last February 22nd that this February 22nd we'd be having a conversation about Jackson Merrill potentially hitting second or fourth, you'd be very, very happy.
Yeah. You would have assumed that we got to see the season we got to see last year.
That's it. First pitch to the left-hand inning. Cronenworth is upstairs, ball 1. They got a little bit of a shift on Jake. Third baseman Arias is playing almost all the way to shortstop, and so Arise coming down the line at third base is about halfway home. Now Arias, the third baseman, a couple of steps over there just to try and keep him honest. Jake playing in his first game of the spring, and he takes a strike 1-1.
You can tell that Arise's secondary made Pereza so uncomfortable that he kind of took 2 crow hops as if he was thrown, even though there was nobody down there.
1 ball, 1 strike, and Cronenworth swings and misses 1-2. Padres a 5-2 win over the A's here yesterday afternoon. Manny Machado homered on the very first pitch that he saw. Padres collected 9 hits, 6 of which went for extra bases. And they did not allow a hit to the Mariners until the 6th inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch is taken on the inside corner. That's strike 3 called, and Ginn punches out Cronenworth to end the first. No runs, a hit, an error, and a rise left at third base. After an inning, it's the A's 1 and the Padres nothing. On the Padres' first pitch, misses a knuckleball downstairs, 1-0. Waldron out of the windup delivers and fouled straight back by the speedy Ruiz to even the count 1-1. We saw Ruiz as a Padre back in 2022, traded at that year's deadline to the Brewers as part of the Josh Hader deal. 2 years ago with Oakland, he stole 67 bases, but limited big time last year with a wrist injury, only played about 25 games. Fastball strike 1-2, but a guy that, look, we saw it at the very start of his major league career who brings a real deal skill set to the table.
He does, and I think he's started to understand how that skill set can have an impact and the type of things that he can do to enhance that. I think a few years back we saw him after he first got to Oakland, still was unsure, I think, of the type of player he was supposed to be. I think he's kind of settled into that, and if he can stay healthy, he can be an asset to this A's ball club.
You kind of look up and down the lineup, and look, Brent Rooker, who's their most valuable player, he's not here today with them, but, I mean, there's some real deal talent and some kind of dynamic athletes out there.
I think we've been so used to kind of looking at the A's and kind of just pushing them to the side. They have started to accumulate some talent now.
Also won 19 more games last year than they did the previous season, finished in 4th place. 3-2, and Ruiz bounces it over the mound, charged at second by Cronenworth, right near the bag at second. He's got it, and the throw to first in time to get the speedy Ruiz. 1 down. Don't miss the first giveaway of the 2025 season. First 40,000 fans in attendance receive an opening series hat presented by Sycuan Casino Resort. The Padres host Jurickson Profar and the Atlanta Braves Friday, March 28th at 6:40. Secure your tickets at padres.com/giveaways. Braves have to return to the scene of the end of their season. Padres swept them in the wild card last year. Here's the other Max Muncy, and he'll take a little bit outside from Waldron. 1 ball and no strikes. Talking about Waldron, and you mentioned it, how valuable he was to the Padres during that period of time last year. Kevin Acey had a good story in the Union Tribune about Waldron yesterday. Pitch is down 2-0, and I mean, he put the numbers to it and some remarkable stuff. From May 28th last year to July 24th. It's really 2 full months of the season. Matt Waldron pitched to a 1.99 ERA.
And was the Padres' best pitcher in that time frame.
By far.
Yeah.
The other guys in the rotation in that same period of time had an ERA of 4.74.
I remember literally it was his start during that time frame that would kind of give the Padres a reset. He was basically the ace during that time, coming in and being able to stop whatever bleeding had happened the previous nights.
And there was a fair amount of bleeding.
There was.
Padres went 6-2 in his starts during that time frame. They went 11-18 in all the other games. So 4 games above 500 with Waldron on the mound, 7 below with everybody else. So if not for Matt Waldron during that period last year, who knows where that team ends up. Fastball down the middle to Muncy, fills the count at 3-2. 1 out, nobody on top of the second. A's with a 1-0 lead. Here's the payoff pitch. And a ground ball sharply right to Eggy Rosario at third base. Pats it in the glove, fires across the diamond just in time to get Muncy, who was speeding up the first base line. And a couple of ground ball outs here in the second inning for Waldron. Base is empty for the number 8 hitter, center fielder Denzel Clark, 24-year-old Canadian. Spent all last year at Double-A for these guys and is a cousin of the Naylor brothers, Josh and Bo. Right-handed batter crowds the plate, and Waldron's fastball's on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Clark last year at Double-A Midland for these guys at .269, 13 homers, 53 runs batted in, stole 36 bags. Here's the 0-1, and at the knees a strike, quickly 0-2. We were talking yesterday about different teams having different styles and how that kind of went out of vogue for a while. The A's have a bunch of guys that can run. Now, whether they're not that was by design or happenstance, I'm not sure, but fun little team to watch. Pitch way outside, 1-2. When we were growing up, the Cardinals in the 80s, big speed team. They leaned into it intentionally with the AstroTurf at Busch Stadium and so many other places around the league. Now the A's have a bunch of guys who can run. They could put pressure on teams this year if they want to. Waldron trying for a 1-2-3 inning. And misses way high, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And that element is not as easy to build as a team as it may seem like it would be. You know, think about it. Guys fast, you just go out there and run, but there's a time, a place.
2-2 foul to the dish.
There's a certain mindset that you have to develop. It's not something that everybody on your roster have, even if they can run. And so as Mark Kotsay and his staff are trying to figure out what type of team they want to be, that will certainly be factored in. It's a tool they have at their disposal should they decide to approach it that way.
Yeah, it's a good point, though, because 30 years ago, teams were far less concerned about how often they were caught. 2-2, little bit low, and we're going to have a challenge here from the catcher, Maldonado.
The catcher is challenging to call the ball.
So now everybody gets to look up at the video board in left field.
A trip to the 2020.
Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Athletics. Jason Hayward, a new Padre, leading off. First spring training at bat in the brown and gold, and he takes outside from the Athletic right-hander, J.T. Ginn. Ginn last year, 6 starts at Double-A, 14 at Triple-A, made his Major League debut in August. Jason Hayward, of course, made his Major League debut long before that. He'll turn 36 years old this summer. Pitch inside, 2-0.
How much longer?
You asked me to do math on the fly. Let's see. Debuted in 2010. So that's like 14 years. Yeah, look at us.
Starting the year off right with math.
Arithmetic. Pitch is up, 3-0 to Hayward, who split last year between the Dodgers and the Astros. And perhaps most significantly, he's a guy who in those 15 Major League seasons has been to the playoffs 10 different times. That doesn't happen by accident. 3-0. And Hayward spins away, takes inside, ball 4. So a lead walk on 4 pitches to begin the second.
I mean, you hear the term, and we throw it around often, a winning ball player. Jason Hayward is that guy.
Another guy who has had postseason success, and another guy new to the Padres stands in now, designated hitter Yuli Gurriel. Hayward, big lead at first, held on by Soderstrom. Gurriel, former Astro, among others, lines this one into right center field. That's a base hit. Padres with their second knock of the day and in business to begin their half of the second inning. 2 on and nobody out for Eggy Rosario.
Just finished talking about the term winning ball player, a term that is associated with Gurriel, professional hitter. Even at the age of 40, this guy can still swing the bat. Lines this first pitch he sees in the center field.
Gurriel, a two-time World Series champion with the Astros, a batting title, a Gold Glove, now 40 years old. Eggy played second base yesterday against the Mariners. He's over at third today. Padres down by 1 in the second inning of 2 on, nobody out. And the first pitch is outside from Ginn, 1-0. Nice afternoon for Eggy Rosario, by the way, yesterday. Led off, walked and scored in the first inning, and had an RBI doubled in the fourth. Padres really did everything right in that game against the Mariners. 1-0. The pitch from Ginn is a breaking ball missing in on the hands. 2-0, and the A's righty not commanding the ball here in the second inning so far the way he did in the first. Eggy, 25 years old, a career-high 30 major league games last year. Hit .245 with 3 home runs. Hits lefties very, very well, but facing a right-handed pitcher here today. 2-0 pitch is fouled back behind home plate on the ground, 2-1. And said he was at second base yesterday. Third base is natural position today. Sounds like Rosario going to get some action in left field as well. Jason Hayward, who started the inning and now stands at second base, getting the start at left field here today. Runners lead at first and second. 2-1 to Rosario. Again, a look back at Hayward. Now the pitch. Aggie kind of loops it into shallow center field. That'll get down. And a base hit. Hayward is being waved by Tim Leeper. He will come in and score. An RBI single for Eggy Rosario. And the Padres have tied it up. That's with Eggy at first, Gurriel at second. Still nobody out. 1-1 here in the second inning. Gonzalez, big boy, 6'4", 235. And he takes low ball 1.
Oscar's not coming out of nowhere. He played a big role for the Guardians a few years back. Had some big moments in the postseason. And just kind of lost his way over the last couple of seasons. Padres certainly hoping he can rekindle what he had done in Cleveland.
Lines this one the other way and down for a base hit in front of Butler. Gurriel to wait and see if it would be caught, so he advances one station. 4 Padres have come to bat here in the second inning. They have all reached base. And now the base is loaded, nobody out for the number 9 hitter, Martin Maldonado.
This is a good piece of hitting. Good breaking ball, perhaps a little bit off the plate, but Gonzalez able to stay back on it.
And Maldonado swings, fouls it back for strike 1. Martin, now 38 years old, signed a minor league deal back in mid-January. Seen him over the years as a Brewer, an Angel, an Astro, a Royal, a Cub, an Astro again, and then last year with the White Sox. Base is loaded, nobody down, nothing in 1. Pitch is fouled off the catcher, Pareda. Got a pretty good chunk of him. No balls and 2 strikes to the veteran. Next up, Martin Maldonado. Maldonado, like Yuldy Gurriel, got a ring with the 2022 Astros. And you got some real deal veterans in this lineup here today between Hayward, Gurriel, and Maldonado. Padres making life difficult on J.T. Ginn here in the second inning. 0-2. And Maldonado kind of flinched, took inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gonzalez at first, Rosario at second, Gurriel at third. Ginn now comes set at the ready. Ball and 2 strikes to the Padre catcher. Here's the pitch. And Maldonado takes a little bit low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Maldi feeling pretty good about his eye after getting the last pitch of the previous inning overturned. Takes a close one there. Count moves to 2-2.
Runners lead at all 3 stations. Swing and a miss. Had him out in front. And the elusive first out here in the second inning for J.T. Ginn. Third strikeout of the day, but not out of trouble just yet. Bases loaded, only one down. He's got to deal with the hit doctor, Luis Arraez.
He's already singled the other way his first at bat. Looking to perhaps do some damage here.
I should note that's your nickname for him, the hit doctor.
Fits.
Swings at the first pitch, lines it into right field, and a base hit. Another knock for Arraez as the throw goes into second base late. Gurriel trots home from third, and the Padres have a 2-1 lead here in the second inning.
That very well can and will end Luis Arraez's day. The hit doctor.
For Luis Arraez, Romeo Sanabria, the pinch runner at first base. Scott Emerson, the pitching coach for the A's, was out to visit with Ginn. A fairly straightforward first inning, but a little bit different here in the second. Still only one out, and the base is full for Xander Bogaerts. Padres ahead 2-1. Ginn delivers, and Xander fouls it at the dish for strike one. Told you that Ginn is a sinker bowler and a guy that really thrives when getting his ground balls. And certainly looking for one of those here against Bogaerts. Padres have gotten RBI hits this inning from Eggy Rosario and Luis Arraez. They lead by one and an opportunity for a crooked number. The one-strike pitch, and Xander out in front, fouls it off at the dish again, 0-2. Sanabria at first, Gonzalez at second, and Rosario at third. One out here in the bottom of the second inning. Now the 0-2. And Xander swings and misses, strike three. Second strikeout of the inning, fourth of the day for Ginn, who's having kind of like, I guess, the exact sort of day you might expect out of a young guy trying to feel his way through it. You can see what makes him effective, but you also see some of the stuff that can give him difficulty, and he has hit his pitch count. Mark Kotsay out to get him, and we'll have a pitching change in the second inning. Jackson Merrill coming to bat with the bases loaded, 2 outs. Padres ahead 2-1 on the Padres Radio Network. Quickly, sounds like Justin Turner. 2-1 Pods. Eighth man to bat this inning, Jackson Merrill. And a supposed pitch com issue for Sterner. We'll get together with the catcher, Pareda, on the grass between the dish and the mound. Padres with a couple of runs here the second inning. They've got the bases loaded, 2 outs. And they're going to need a new pitch com receiver. You know, as they say, it's spring training for the pitch com devices, too.
Well, it's spring training for everybody. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, I know. I think they did give an automatic ball there.
Didn't believe it.
Didn't buy it.
Mm-mm.
And now Kotsay having words with the plate umpire, Austin Jones, who takes off his mask, walks towards Kotsay, kind of explains himself a little bit. And it's a 1-ball, no-strike count for Jackson Merrill before he even sees a pitch. Well, the excitement of baseball. Breaking pitch misses high, 2-0. Sanabria at first base, a pinch runner for Luis Arraez. Oscar Gonzalez at second and Eggy Rosario at third. Here's the 2-0 pitch, way high and outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Ready to go, and the 3-0 pitch swung on line over the head of Arias and into left field. Rosario has scored. Gonzalez right behind him. 2-run knock by Jackson Merrill, and the Padre lead is 4-1.
We've seen it pretty consistently so far in the 2 games. Same approach as we often saw last year, but also on the attack. This time, Jackson Merrill just flares this one over the shortstop's head. 2-run RBI for Jackson Merrill, and his day is over.
Forrest Wall, I believe, is the pinch runner as Jake Cronenworth takes inside ball 1. Padres 4, Athletics 1 in the second inning. Cronenworth, the 9th guy to hit this frame. And a grounder foul in front of first base coach David Macias. Along with third base coach Tim Leeper returns in 2025. Talked about it a little bit yesterday, but great continuity on Mike Schultz's staff in his second year as skipper. Cronenworth struck out against Ginn to end the first inning. Now ahead 2-0. We had 2 on and 2 out here against Sterner, who misses high and outside ball 3. When describing yesterday's win over the Mariners, Tony used the word clean to say how it went. Today looks a lot more like what you would expect from an early spring training game.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
3-0 swing and a foul tip into the catcher's mitt, 3-1.
I want to go back to the approach because it is eerily similar to what we saw almost all of last year. And you mentioned continuity. The one thing the Padres have that I think some of their rivals in the division don't have is the continuity. This group has been together for a while, and that matters when you have a team that had the kind of success that the Padres did last year.
Runners will go on 3-2 with 2 down. Here's the pitch, and Cronenworth off the handle, bounces it into center field, a base hit. Sanabria lumbering around third. He will score. They'll hold the trail runner Wall at third base. RBI single Jake Cronenworth. The Padres have batted around in the second inning, and they now lead it 5-1.
You're hitting Coach Victor Rodriguez. You got to be really pleased with what you've seen. I mean, listen, these aren't the hardest hit baseballs you'll ever see, but the thing that's consistent is where they're going. Up the middle of the field, going light post to light post, left center to right center, with the exception of Gonzalez's great piece of hitting the other way. Everything on a line in the middle of the field. Padres having some early success.
Now Jason Hayward, who scored the first of the 5 runs this inning when he began the frame with a 4-pitch walk against Ginn. Swings at the first pitch and bounces it foul behind the plate, strike 1. So a nice big crooked number here in the bottom of the second for the Padres. 6 hits in the inning. Runners at the corners, 2 out. Breaking ball grounded right toward the Padre dugout on the right side. And now Hayward behind. No balls and 2 strikes against Sterner. Cronenworth and Wall lead. And the 0-2 pitch is on the outside corner.